So moving forward again, still with the rib build. Her indoors is not happy because I've been doing a bit of soldering work on her table. Well, our table. I made a couple of little fun things on the 3D printer, not that, that's the isolating switch for the main kit. Yeah, 2 little stickers, that's going to go over the centre of the steering wheel, and that's going to go on the throttle control because it's all nasty and mean. Just a little bit of fun. Right now, of course, is the name of the boat. So that's as neat as we can get the wires. It's not easy, but they're hopefully away from there. Made my little clip there that's holding them well. I can clip them all once the steering is in, but I'm not going to do that yet. I've still got those to connect up to there, but we're getting there. So we have tested it, all the things did work, so we're going to test it again now we've done that. Shit. And this is all we don't need. Look at that, as if it's not wet enough. Absolutely ridiculous. We have to have stepping stones to get in here. But it's going to, oh, it's mental. I'm going to use the rib to get out of my house soon. Right, so we've temporarily wired it up to the battery that we're going to use. Connected the tank. The only thing we haven't connected is the bilge pump, but we did check that earlier and it worked. So now for the big switch on. So that one is the fuel gauge, which has come on and won't read anything, but we have turned the tank upside down, so that works. Next one is a horn. I think you can hear that. Bilge pump won't work. Then we've got the little nav lights there on the side. They work. Then we've got the radio here. It's switched on. Then we've got the Garmin here, which is switched on. So all good, we can switch off the nav lights.
And the fuel?
And the fuel can be switched off.
Top.
Is it still on?
No, you just turned it on.
No, it's just reflected. Fuel gauge can go off. And then the Garmin's booting up. And the radio's on and it's picked up its GPS even in the shed here. So we'll switch that off. And the Garmin's booting up. So, call that a result. All wired up and works. So, she's very close to going in to the actual boat now. Going to sort out the fuel tank fixing. Right. So, for a little bit of fun, we've put the centre on the steering wheel. It's fairly centred. And we've got the old Oliver the Octopus sitting there. He's glued on, stuck on with double-sided tape. And then that is on there on the throttle. If they fall off, the beauty of 3D printing is you can just do another one. For the main supply to all the stuff in the console that I've just been finished working on, I've got a little 20 amp breaker, which I've used these quite often. That's going to go to the main switch, and there'll be a breaker there for the whole circuit for all the auxiliaries here in the console. So a little 20 amp breaker, obviously it will feed in, go from battery switch there and off to the console. Her indoors was pleased because we cleaned the table, but now we've got the seat on the table because we've now got the cut mat, which is the 3mm neoprene, I think down the centre, and it's self-adhesive on one side, and we're going to fix it along there in the middle, so we've got a gap this side and a gap that side to gun in CT1, and that'll be what it rests on, just to make it squeak less and just have a little semi-soft base. It's quite hard neoprene, but it will still be a better thing to rest on than that on fiberglass to fiberglass. So over to doing that. So we've applied the rubber strip to the bottom of the leaning seat, and now just to please her indoors, we've got the actual console indoors, inside in the house, because it was quite chilly outside last night, and I don't want to be sticking things onto items that are really cold, so we'll give that a while to customise to the heat. And look at her table, a bit messy again. Never mind, it's all in the job. Right, so we've cleaned all this up and wiped it to get the dust off, so we're now just drying it a little bit, possibly a bit overboard. So ready for lengths of this, which will stick onto there. It's important when we stick those on there that you stick it a little bit towards this edge, because you've got to allow for the thickness of this when you're actually allowing for your screws to go through to hold that down, and then we will gun in CT1 here. Okay, as I was drying this and making sure it's flat and no pimples on it, which is worth doing, I noticed there was a couple of little holes there which was a little failing in the asbestos in the fiberglass, so I've just filled those with a little bit of 5-minute epoxy just to stop any water getting in there. I probably wouldn't have done anything, but as you got it here, you might as well do a proper job. There's all my electrics, there's the bung for the steering and the other 4-line cables to go out of. That was just an office style bung. Hopefully that should be okay. For an office desk, that was. What do you reckon? Right, we're just cutting the rubber a little bit wider on this bit because the flange, internal flange on the console is a little bit wider. So that's about what we want. So I think this is, I don't know if it's 3M, but it's pretty good. The epoxy's still wet there. So we'll stick it down there with a little mind that this is offset. So allow enough for the CT1 and then stick it on there, okay? So that's the rubber fixed on the console all the way around. So again, the plan is to put this on, fix through with self-tappers using some of our chop block plastic as like a long wash all along on the inside. And then once it's in and we're happy with the position, with everything's geared up and it's a nice day, we're going to gun in CT1 or Sikaflex if that's what you like, along here and down there, and fill that gap, which should obviously seal but also stick the console down to the floor. We've deliberately left the gap there, which actually isn't very centered, but it'll still do the job, which is to allow water out if any should get in. I know it will get in there, but I'd rather have it not completely sealed. I think we're going to have a floor in here which will go on top of the plastic that is effectively the washers holding it down. Right, these are the what I call continuous washers that we're using to go inside the console on the inner flange. We're now drilling them. That's the fiberglass side. I've got to drill slightly that way so that we can get the drill in when we drill through the floor. Well through. Good. Well, indoors is making a cup of tea. It's a lovely sunny day outside for a change, and what we've done, we've put the pieces of chopping board plastic in there, pre-drilled with 6.5mm and countersunk, stuck in with a bit of CT1. So we've done it here as well. The surface is not completely even, so it's a bit tricky. So it's all stuck in. So in the morning we'll put these up on 2 pieces of wood, drill those holes through, and then we're ready to go and mount them in the boat. That'll do for this episode.